Hey guys, welcome to our off-season cut. As we actually missed the playoffs due to the sole fact that the conference divisions were better. But looking at our green page, we got Ego Ferguson as actually up there as one of the best rookies in the league. Here's a playoff that we ended up going through in a conference round. Cincinnati beats the Jets, and then the Jets, and then Green Bay beats the Giants for the conference round. The championship will be Green Bay and Cincinnati, and Green Bay wins by 3. They had a good second half comeback. Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb with a touchdown pass in the second half, and then that field goal, actually that touchdown by Randall Cobb in the fourth quarter actually got them the win. Not too bad stats rushing for either team. Giovanni Bernard had 58 yards. Starks had 77. Rodgers only threw one pick, 3 touchdowns, and 360 yards. But Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb had about 120 and 130 yards, and A.J. Green only had 133, and they had nothing past that. So here's our evaluation. Our team performance is 52, our value is 66, profit loss 68, and roster strength is 19. So we got an end year score of 59. So we're going to have to change this year going into the offseason. And we have our coach. This is how you pick your coaches. And I'm looking, and I think we're going to make a head coaching change. I looked at a lot of people that were pretty much fired. Bill Belichick, Jason Garrett, Ron Rivera, Tom Coughlin, Jay Gruden, just looking through what's out there. Plus, we can take a coordinator if we really want to. So we were looking through the coordinators. I mean, we got Kubiak, Jim Schwartz, Mike Shula, because in this it was before the season. We got Todd Bowles from Arizona. I'm looking at him. And I'm looking at player development as well as intelligence and some scouting. We need to build this team through the draft, being as I'm technically the owner. I look at Adam Gase just to see what his player development is and his young talent evaluation. And it's up there. It's decently good. We might give him a spot somewhere on this team. But in the end, we are going to go with Todd Bowles. That Arizona defense was actually good this year, and so we're going to pull him to fix our defensive woes. We've had some really big issues on defense. As for offensive coordinator, Aaron Cromer, I mean, he's an old lineman, but we need to get some player development around our quarterback and some of our skill positions and not just our linemen. So we're looking through some people that can possibly help us. Joe Lombardi, Tom Clements for the Packers, good intelligence, player development, his scouting ability is up there, but we don't need any scouting ability. We can use that throughout anyone else to look. But ultimately, we are going to go with Todd Clements just because of the fact that he has coached Aaron Rodgers. So looking at our assistant coach, really, I'm not sure what this one would go through. And so what we're just looking at is the intangible aspects of it. Talent, scouting, development, interviewing. We're looking at those things, and we're going to see if we can also attach in someone who can be a scout for one of our positions of need, whether it be secondary, running backs, because other than Matt Forte, we don't have anything on there, maybe even receiver. Other than Marshall and Jeffrey at this point, we need to get something together at receiver and possibly even linebacker. So we see Belichick here as a secondary. Kevin O'Day is an O-lineman. And just looking at what we have here. Paul Gunther, linebacker. So I think we're going to look at a linebacker core for one of these coaches. I mean, we need something to shore up that, but we are going to look at Joe Ticamelis and look at our actual receiver, and we are actually going to keep him because he's done a good job at our receiver core to put him together. So that's a good thing. So our strength coordinator here, good at strength training, not very great at intelligence at all, or conditioning. So maybe that could be something we need. We're going to look at suitability and just look at what else is out there. We could possibly stay with our own. I mean, he has good strength, decent condition training, so we're going to keep him. So we got Todd Bowles as our head coach. So here's our free agency. Some of the players we're looking on getting: Kuhn, Fleener, Legursky, Beluga, Cody Terrence. We are going to get Parnell McPhee on a limited deal. Mason Foster. We're going to look to pull back Julius Peppers. We got Revis on there. We're going to see if Tillman bites on something that big. But he ends up signing with Tennessee. Sherrick McManus trying to give him a 1-year deal and see what we can get out of this. I mean, we could pull Revis in and put him in tandem with a Kyle Fuller, and we might be able to get something on the back end. We just got to shore up that safety position. As we're looking at some of the players that have went, Stephen Ridley, Julius Thomas went actually stayed in Denver. Cameron Jordan stayed in Cleveland. Nick Fairley actually has left Detroit to go over to Arizona. Reed Brooks went back to Houston. And Bruce Carter is staying in Dallas. So we're looking to change over to a 3-4. With Todd Bowles as our head coach. And just had some issues of recording there. Let me fix that. But let's see. A lot of the things that we're going to have to see is that what we can put together on defense. Our defense was horrendous this year. A lot of the games we lost were defensively. Oh, and we're looking at bringing in Antron Roll, and then our long snapper. We got to get another one. Long snappers, whatever. It's Logan Gilmore, a 2-year player. Evan Britton leaves because he wanted a huge contract. He's going to Pittsburgh on a 4-year, $29 million deal. What else do we got here? Everyone's still pending. Wes Welker is going to go to Detroit. Mike Wallace is going to go to San Francisco. That's pretty much it. From there, as we're looking through, Antoine Bolden goes to Carolina. Raymond Luga stays in Cincinnati. Aaron Foster stays in Houston. Captain Mutterland is maybe going to Indianapolis. They made a bid on him. We had Chris Cook possibly going to Seattle. Garrett Blunt looking at Tennessee. Christian Ponder might be going back to Minnesota. Everyone, that's big with some of the streams of the sports guys out there, particularly Mr. Hurricane and his time with Christian Ponder, which is absolutely hilarious. But going in stage 8 of 12. Antoine Roll, still waiting. We did get Darnell Revis. So that's big. Of a 3-year, $17 million deal. We see if we can get Patrick Peterson, but he didn't bite. He's going actually to the Patriots, of all teams. Going into the end of free agency. We're looking at some of the players who were signed. I mean, we saw Josh McCown, but we're not looking to go through that route again. So we need to get ready for the draft. So the draft here, I pulled in this year's draft. So you have like Kevin White and all those players. And we did a little scouting beforehand. I looked at some of the players that I liked coming out of this draft. A lot of them being Bears, oddly enough, because I know who they are. and pretty much compared them around and looked. We picked 19th. We got 3 fourth-round picks. We ended up trading, or 3 third-round picks. We ended up trading Brandon Marshall. I mean, he made some plays, but he was injured a lot of the year. So we need to we dumped his cap off to another team to allow for the signing of Darnell Revis and some of the playmakers on defense. And we're going to be looking to get another receiver out of the gate on this draft. I mean, you still have Amari Cooper, you have Kevin White, uh, uh, was it Dorian Green Beckham? I don't know. A lot of the players that I've seen coming out of this, we'll see what we can go with. We'll actually see him in here. I mean, we can go with. There's also some skill players at running back because I mean we don't have a proven second running back. First pick off the board is actually Leonard Williams. Just wow. Second one is tackle. Marcus Mariota gets picked to Tennessee at number 3. So we're looking at possibly getting quarterbacks as well. We need someone to get behind. And there goes St. Louis. Kevin White is going to the Rams. At height, at speed, we're not going to be able to pick him up. So possibly Amari Cooper. See Randall Damaris go to Detroit. As we're looking here, we are looking at Landon Collins, safety out of Alabama. Todd Gurley goes to Dallas. You have Vic Beasley still out there from Clemson. Dante Fowler goes to the Patriots. So you still got Melvin Gordon out there. His development's already about 65, so if he could play, we're looking for a development player though. Trey Flowers going to Jacksonville. Amari Cooper is a 14 for what he is, so we can do some good development for him. Beasley's going to Arizona. See, looking at Eddie Goldman. He's slated as defensive tackle, but we can easily put that weight as a nose tackle. See here, Landon Collins actually goes to Miami, 2 picks before us. So we're really just looking at what we got. Jameis Winston's still on the board. And Eric Kendricks goes to Buffalo. I was looking at possibly getting Eric Kendricks. He's a fast running back. But at this point, we got to take the best offensive piece on the board besides at receiver, and we're going to go with Amari Cooper. Get some speed out there. He's got some room for development. We do have some coaches that will do that and develop our receivers, so he's going to immediately be our number 2. Marquise Wilson's going to be actually playing behind him. As we look on, what's our next pick? I mean, we got some defensive needs. L'Oreal Collins out there at offensive tackle, still out there at Louisiana State. Jeremy Langford's still out there. He's a 74, so he can immediately come in. 74 development, so he can immediately come in and help behind Matt Forte immediately. As just waiting and watch him develop. Trey Waynes goes to the Giants. So there's L'Oreal Collins goes to the Jets. Could be getting those backwards. I need to situate that. Jeremy Langford actually does go to Arizona, so we're going to have to look at getting something. And Danny Shelton goes to Miami, so he was probably going to be the next one. And then Eddie Goldman is taken, so we don't have a defensive tackle spot that we've really looked at. I mean, Michael Bennett's on the board, but we don't know anything, so we're going to go looking through the positions here. We already have a receiver. Look at tackle. I mean, we got Mario Edwards Jr., but he's 33 out of Florida State. Inside linebacker. Trey DePriest is down there still, so we're not going to reach for him. Outside linebacker. Don't really see anything big stat-wise. Corner. Quentin Rollins is still on the board. Safety, Adrian Amos is still there. His broad jump isn't that great, but his rest of his skills are good. We're going to look at everything by grade. TJ Yeldon's still there. I think he's our best skill position player at this point. Especially when we're looking at some of the grades. I'm trying to get back to what it was. Looking at development, it's not going to tell me much of anything. So we're going to look at him. He doesn't have any bad scores. That's the thing. Looking at our roster, though, we have Forte. We did get Jonathan Dwyer assigned as an extra back just to see what he can do. And then Perry and Carey at receiver. We did pick up Stevie Johnson as an extra. We got Amari Cooper. We still have Tim Jennings on the team. He's very cheap at 10-year player. At safety, we have Vereen. Conti's gone. Dixon's gone. Mundy and Roll. So we will need another safety. But I think we're going to pick up TJ Yeldon. From here, it seems like a good play. Yeah, you got Perry and Carey on there, as well as Dwyer. But Dwyer's going to be out there to see what he can do. And if he makes this team, he may end up being our fullback if we don't go with one of the tight ends as the fullback. He's looking there. There's Quentin Rollins, cornerback out of Miami, Ohio. It's got some good combine stats, particularly in the soul and the agility. I don't see any players that are big coming off. And as I'm looking through, there's Ipri Amolu, 53. His soul's good, but nothing's sticking out. Quentin Rollins was already taken. Yeah, he was taken by Dallas, the 74th pick. So we're going to look at defensive tackles. We need to figure out what exactly we need to do. He didn't take the position drill, so that is a red flag already. As we see here, someone's got a couple blues and no green, which is green. It's poor combine scores. Is Mario Edwards Jr. coming out of Florida State. He's a 33 development. He didn't do the position drill either. But at his combine, we're going to take a flyer with our third round, which is a horrible thing to think. But we got back-to-back third-round picks. So we're going to turn around here and pick what I believe is the best center available right now, especially in development. And that is Grasu, a center out of Oregon. He's going to play at least either a backup or the starting center role right next to his former Oregon teammate, Kyle Long. So we're going to look what we have there. I could have went with Andy Gallick, but really, we might need someone that comes in and plays. And Grasu is up in the 40s in development, so he's halfway there. And Jameis Winston's still on the board. So maybe we can take a snag and get Jameis Winston, who is slated, and he actually goes to the Jets. So he's going to be dealing with the whole debacle over there. And Adrian Amos is still on the board. He had one, his broad jump isn't that great, but he gets picked, the pick before me at Denver. So we got to think, what's our next step? We did get DePriest as a middle linebacker. We did look at Pruitt as a possible safety. And we have 3 safeties. I want to keep 2 on the board, or 4 on the roster. We'll deactivate 1. But a middle linebacker or inside linebacker, we need 1 more. But Priest is a 64 developed, so he wouldn't be anything but a backup player possibly. He could come up later out of some development, but really, maybe not. Looking at corner, see Diggs, Pruitt there. We did scout him. He's got good run defense. He's about half developed, so we're going to go with what we know, and that's going to be Cody Pruitt, safety out of Mississippi, with the 115th pick. So the next thing we're going to have to look at after we did shore up the actual safety position, is we're going to have to look at what positions we need past this. We have a 5th, 6th, and a 7th. I mean, do we look to trade down? Do we look to pull some flyers in some positions that we can see? I mean, the only player we have scouted is the Priest right now. We may wait to look at quarterback at the end of the draft, where there's another free agency, like a last-minute period to simulate like after the draft and people that weren't signed, things like that. This here, I'm looking at center to the point that is going away, so we're good at center. Tight end's not really in need. We're looking at tackle. Jake Fisher is actually on the board. 31 development, where you could develop him, which is actually intriguing that he is actually on the board with a 4.1 grade still. I mean, I think the highest player comes in as normally around 6'5". But we are going to take Jake Fisher, tackle, out of Oregon. So we have another Oregon Duck on our team. We're going to look at putting him, possibly developing him for the left side with a Bushrod, or maybe even on the right side. We'll have to see exactly what he has out there. So as we go through, and we're looking, trying to see what people are picking up. I mean, we see receivers, tackles, corners, a lot of defensive players. There's a tight end, receiver, safety. So really, players are just trying to teams are trying to flow out their rosters. So we're going to look at defensive end right now, and we have Corey Crawford, 40% developed, has a good base jump, lacking the soul, but really we're going to pick him up out of the defensive end out of Clemson. We're going to see what he can do on the inside, and possibly if we have to move him to the outside, but we have our linebacker core, at least in the outside linebacker core, already situated, so we need to shore up our inside line. We'll go on this later in the video when we do our roster, or not our roster, but our actual depth chart, and we'll see how everyone matches up after this. So Cody Riggs at Notre Dame goes to Denver. Last pick before that by Miami. Xavier Williams, inside linebacker out of Georgia. So we don't have the Priest. He has gone. Looking at corner, Jeremiah Lemke. I don't like his development skill. I mean, he's already in the 70s. He's not going to develop too much. We know what we're getting from Quadri Diggs, corner out of Texas. So we're going to take him. Someone we're going to develop behind Revis, Jennings, McManus, and Fuller. Maybe we can transition some of that talent possibly to the high side over to safety, as the draft is not complete. So Mr. Irrelevant is Chris Bonner, quarterback out of Colorado State for Green Bay. So Green Bay took another quarterback to possibly be trained out. Alshon Jeffrey is going to hold out. We're not going to have that, so we are actually going to submit him an offer, and he is definitely going to take that offer. It is a massive contract. But right now, all we got is fails on here as a quarterback, and we need another one. So we're going to continue with free agency. Late free agency, 1 of 5. We're going to see what's out there. Quarterbacks. Ryan Lilly's actually hurt. We got Shane Carden. It's good from Eastern Pennsylvania or Elizabeth, Pennsylvania. We're going to pick him up. I mean, he's a short pass. He's from East Carolina. We're looking at him. We're looking at Brent Hundley. We're looking at him. And actually, we're going to pick up Brent Hundley. So looking at running backs, we did have a weird thing happen in this draft. Is Telvin Coleman went undrafted. And he's a beast. So we're going to give him a contract. And we're going to let him and Jonathan Dwyer duke it out. Let's see who gets that roster spot. I mean, anything is possible. But that weird thing I was talking about, Jacquez Rogers actually had an injury that puts him out next year and possibly even out for his career in this game. So it was one of the weird things as I was looking at him because he has good blocking, but can't. So at a receiver, we're going to look at George Farmer out of Southern California. We're going to give him a small contract, trying to get these undrafted rookies slots, see what they can do. Wilson, Demarius, we're looking at who could have fell. Isaac Fricty's on here. He's slated as a receiver from Minnesota. He has good special teams ability, but, I mean, past that, nothing more. So, ultimately, we're going to give one to Coleman. Conte's going to Philly. Santonio Holmes going to Dallas. Paella is going to New Orleans. But we're looking at Hundley, Darius Kilgo, and trying to get those guys. KJ White actually goes to Tennessee, which is kind of weird. Looking through here, no one of big. Rob Blanchflower going to New Orleans. So, draft review, we got a B-. We're towards the end of the bottom of the totem pole. Quarterback comparison, not a big deal. Amari Cooper is actually the 11th best rookie out of the draft, right above Kevin White. So we did pick a steal there. Comparison, we need our secondary to just increase, but we had a lot of secondary turnover this year with Tillman leaving, getting Revis, getting some secondary pieces from the draft, and then getting Antoine Roll. Here we go with our depth chart. And so, Fails is going to be number 2 right now. Huntley's going to be behind him. Yeldon's going to get that nod as a second back behind Forte. And at fullback, we're going to put in, it's an up between Coleman, Dwyer. Right now, we're going to put Dwyer in there. And we're going to put Yeldon behind him and see what happens from there. On a passing, we're going to put in Yeldon because we want 2 backs in the backfield. 3rd and short, we might fiddle around with Dwyer and Coleman. So I might end up changing that later and put him as the second one. But of course, Bennett is going to be the lead tight end. Fleener is going to be behind them. They're the only tight ends on the roster right now. We might look at adding that. So Jeffrey's going to be our number 1, obviously. Cooper is going to be our number 2. We got Stevie Johnson going to be our number 3. Wilson's going to be number 4. And as we're looking here, Farmer is going to be a number 5 right now. Going on the line, obviously, we're just going to do recommended, and we're going to change it from there. So we did get a Fabeluge off the, he was undrafted. So Bushrod is going to be left tackle. Fisher's going to be out there backing him up. Slauson, and then behind him is Ola. It's going to be Grassow and then Legursky. So Grassow is going to get the nod to play the rookie right next to Kyle Long. We got Beluga over at right tackle, and we're going to have Fisher back him up as well. And then I missed it. 2 guards. End up it's going to be Ola at that second guard spot. So the Gunners, I'm going to put McManus and possibly looking at some of our players coming in. And we're going to put our strongest side linebacker, Christian Jones, on it. Obviously, all the kickoffs and all that stuff's good. Holder, we're going to look at who's good at holding. We're going to give it to Pat O'Donnell. He's better. Punt returners, he's just not good with. We'll put in Farmer just to see what he does. We're going to put in Yeldon. Actually, looking at that, we're going to give Coleman a spot. And, well, yeah, we are going to put Yeldon out there just to give him some touches, see what he can do before he comes in. And then Williams will take over and the backups go in. Obviously, it tells me there's 2 right guards. I missed it. And actually, I'm going to put Fabeluge there. So, base defense. On end, this is where it's going to get complicated. So, on left end, we're going to put Ratliff. Behind him, we're going to look at possibly putting... Ooh, this is a good question. Fletcher's good in run defense. Kogo's going to be a nose tackle. We're going to put Sutton here. Sutton had a pretty good year. Nose tackle, Cody and Kilgo. So on right end, obviously here it's going to be nothing but Ego Ferguson. One of the best rookies coming out last year. Performed marvelously. And then we're going to put the other rookie behind him. And it being Fletcher. Actually a 2-year player out of there. So strong side linebacker. As we're looking at it, Fletcher is good at run defense. So actually this might be a good fit here. Putting him in there as a run defender and right end. We're going to need some run defense. So strong side linebacker. We are actually going to put, who are thinking strong side is going to be over on the left side. So we're trying to see what Peppers was. So we're going to put Peppers on the weak side. Houston's going to be on the strong side as linebackers. For some reason, it won't let me change his position. So on the other strong side linebacker to back up Houston is going to be McPhee. And Willie Young is going to be behind Peppers. So strong inside, we're going to put Bostic. Weak inside, we're going to put McClellan. And behind Bostic is going to be Jones. And behind McClellan is going to be Foster. Obviously, our number 1 corner is going to be Darnell Revis. Obviously. Our number 2 is going to be Fuller. Our number 3 is going to be Jennings. And our number 4, I'm looking at Butler and McManus out there. You also have Diggs. I'm thinking maybe we'll put Butler. Maybe we'll put Diggs to get him out there looking at run defense. Some of those things. And man-to-man defense is better for Butler. So strong safety is obviously going to be Monday. Behind him is going to be the rookie Pruitt. And then free safety is going to be Broll and then Vereen. So that's going to be our base defense. So goal line. We're going to try to mimic a lot of these things. So again, it may just be looking at possibly change it at nose tackle, but we can put another defensive end. Kogo is not going to be in there. Cody. And looking at his run defense, it's not all that great. We did pick up Xavier Williams. He's a rookie. We're looking at Edwards. He's got good run defense. So we're going to put Edwards as a nose tackle on our goal line. Our extra defensive tackle is going to be, looking for him, is going to be Ferguson because we want him in the middle. And then on the right side is going to be Sutton. For our linebackers, obviously we're going to have Houston, then Bostic, and then McClellan, who's good at run defense, which is good. And then Peppers. And then, of course, on corners, it's going to be Revis, Fuller, as I lose, Fuller. And then Monday, actually it might be Tim Jennings. He's got a better run defense. Let's look at Roll. Roll's got a good man defense too. So we're going to go with Roll in our goal line package. So we're going to mimic a lot of the same stuff in our nickel. The only thing that's going to be different is we won't have a second middle linebacker. So that's still going to be Bostic. Edwards is still that better run defense in the center. So we might look at moving Edwards to the nose tackle because, I mean, he's a better nose tackle at this point than anything on our roster. Ratliff. And as we look here, we're looking at who we have in the center here in Cody, and we are going to change Edwards there. So Edwards is going to be our starting nose tackle. The rookie is getting the nod, and he's going to be seeing what he can do that first preseason game. As it looks like he's good at run blocking, and run stuffing, I should say. So we're going to look to see what we can do with this. So strong side, obviously that is going to possibly be, at least in our nickel, it's still going to be Houston. I think he's still going to be the best bet on here. Ratliff is there, run defense. Pass rush is actually, I guess being in a nickel, our pass rush is going to be better. So we're going to put Houston there. On the strong side, we might actually put Jones. He's not good at man defense or zone defense, that's the thing. But Foster, good at zone defense. Green, not too good at coverage either. McClellan, he's oddly good at a lot of things. Wow. So McClellan's going to be our strong side. Bostic's going to be our inside. And actually, we're going to switch this around because Owen Jones is our strong side linebacker. So Revis, which I might end up changing because the sole fact that I'd rather at strong side linebacker have Peppers, possibly. Or I might put him on the right end where Ferguson is. I need Peppers on the field. He's a playmaker. And we need playmakers on the field. But we're going to evaluate that roster, any of our things we've done here. So Houston left end, I'm going to just mimic the last one. Edwards is nose tackle. Ferguson on the right end. So this is going to be McClellan and Bostic. Corner-wise in our dime, obviously, is going to be Revis, Fuller, Jennings. We're going to look at McManus. Bad man-to-man. Decent zone. Butler is not any better. But, I mean, we might have to go with him. Vereen? No, because that's a dime corner position. Pruitt's actually a decent put here. So Pruitt's going to get the nod as our dime corner in our nickel. Or actually in our dime. So thank you all for joining me. We're going to look at and reevaluate this roster and see what we can do. Later, guys.